Hello, Joe Johnson here with the Sonoran Planter, and got some goodies today. I picked up some wood chips. You can see them on the little keyhole path there that I have. Plenty more where that came from, and I got some really good stuff today. This is chicken manure here that's been sitting in some wood chips, wood shavings. They put the wood shavings in their coop, and once it starts getting a little bit too full, they put it in a can and let it sit for a long time, and then they dump it out and let it sit for another yard. So that's aged well. So we have our wood chips. I think that'll be plenty for this thing. That's more than enough manure. I'm going to share that with a friend. I actually borrowed the pickup, and so she's going to get some of the benefit of that. And I'm going to put those on top of, I have a little bit of horse manure here, and then I have some cow manure that I had that was bagged. The horse manure I got, it's been sitting out for a while. It's aged nicely. And then the cow manure I got, it was just a bag that I had laying around, so I threw it in there. And then you can see there's some mulch on top that I just went ahead and threw. I had a bag sewn and threw that in here too. So it's mostly wood shavings on top here. And you can see the fresh wood shavings right on the path there. I did that so I can pile stuff around it without it coming down on top of the path as well. So my next task is to go ahead and put this chicken manure here on, fairly thick, maybe an inch worth if I have enough, and make sure I give some to a friend. And then I'm going to let it sit, probably wet it down a little bit, let it sit and seep in a little. And I'm going to pick up compost here day after tomorrow, so I will bring that back, and then I will layer it in real thick with that. Throw in some of the sand that I still have sitting here, maybe a little bit of the clay. The little pile over there, what's left of it, has some clay in it that was on top when I dug it out. So maybe a little bit of that, so that it has some of the native soil in there, but not too much. And then I think we'll be ready to start planting. We're supposed to be bringing some plants back with us, some good ground cover when we come back up from the Phoenix Valley in a few days. And so we'll get some goodies planted, and we'll be able to show you that as we go along. My wife will be back, so maybe I'll have her film me doing some of this instead of me having to do it and turn off the camera and then do something else and turn on the camera and talk about it and what have you. So we look forward to getting this done. And really looking forward to that loquat tree, and it's not ready for me yet. I'm gonna have to make another trip for that, but it'll be worth the wait. This will be a killer planter. We're looking forward to it. Alright, I'm back just real quick. I want to show you with the chicken manure in here. Not a whole lot to see, but you can see it's getting done. And I put some more chips there on the path, and that little stone there is for the drip edge, so it doesn't erode my where I lift some soil there. For those that didn't watch the earlier videos, the reason I did it this way is I have pipes going right underneath there. The utilities go right there, and then under that pot. And that's why I put the pot there too, because something's got to hold that spot, and I don't want to plant things that will have deep roots and make it hard to dig there if anything ever happens. The tube there is to hold everything back so that I can plant my tree there. I'll be putting some special compost in there for my tree, and I'm making sure that I don't have any too much stuff under it that might degrade and then drop the elevation of the tree, which would be a little awkward as it matures. So I want to make sure I get a good solid footing underneath it. So that's what's going on here, and it'll be a couple days before I take the next step, and we'll be recording then. Thanks for watching. Hey, this is Joe Johnson. I got a nice overcast day to get some work done, and we're gonna start getting this thing, well, not start, but we're gonna get this thing filled in now. Picked up some manure and some just got this stuff over at Walmart. It'll do, because it's just Walmart. What is it, the manure and the topsoil, and this is the good stuff right over here. Check this out. This is awesome compost. This is like the life of the party here. This is going to be a compost party. And there's all sorts of goodies in it. I'm looking forward to getting that in there and starting to plant. We have a few things we're going to get planted right away, but not a whole lot. You can see this is for trees. It's a little bit of a different mix. and this compost is a garden mix. So I'll put a little bit of that in the older planter here, and then another one I have out back. And for the trees, I'll use several of them right here where the loquat's going. And I'm going to do a couple of mulberries too out in the yard, and I'll show you that when I get ready to do those as well. So we'll get back with you as I get things filled in. I'll be using some of the sand and the little bit of clay I have left in the soil as well, so that the new plants will at least get a taste of what the native soil is like, so they are maybe a little friendlier to it as the roots start reaching into it. So I'll get back with you as things progress. Hey there, Joe Johnson here. Just wanted to catch you up with what I've done so far. My wife didn't want to give up that black planter, so we're putting this plastic thing in for now until we decide what to put there. Who knows, maybe we'll just bury that there. As you can see, got more stuff put in. Put in some manure, put in some regular native soil and sand. Kept layering in the wood chips right there, so that's getting deeper. You can see right here on top, I have the compost. I've layered that as well. I put a layer of compost in, then I put some sand and some of the native soil in, and then I put this compost on top. You can see right there that the darker stuff is the tree stuff. The lighter stuff is for just the garden compost. So they have a little bit different materials in them. The guy that makes this stuff up for me says that this is wonderful, and we've seen the results in different people's gardens and their trees and stuff. I'll be pulling that caisson tube out here shortly. That doesn't really need to be there anymore. It's done its job. It's filled up about the same height as the compost you see right there. I also sprayed in a kind of a tea mixture I made with some of this biofeed that I got at the Shade conference. A guy gave me that, swore that it would help my soil, so we're going to give that a shot. And I mixed in about a quart of whole raw milk. It's been shown to have some good properties to help your soil as well, and you can see some little globules there. I had some kefir that was just old, so we dumped it in there as well, adding some more nutrients, adding some more life to the soil. So that's all done. I still need to put the last of the topsoil in on top. I'll throw in some more wood chips on top of that, and then I'll water it. I'll pull that caisson tube out before I show the next video as well. And I have a little bit of my mixture left that I'll be spraying on top of the soil before I put the wood chips on. Okay, here we are, kind of done. I went ahead and put on the layers and got the last of the compost and the topsoil, and put in a little bit of the native soil in there to help acclimate it and get it built up. And the wood chips are on top. Where that path is, you can hardly see it right now, but it goes from right here where this little stepping stone is back to, you can barely see that little greenish bin. Just before that it turns left and then goes over there. Maybe you can see those two sticks sticking up. That'll be more apparent as we get more plants in. Now the idea here is just soak it for a while. As it gets more moisture in there, that compost will be vitalized even more, and we'll get more of the microbiology growing and infiltrating. And I want that to just go ahead and be happening now, whether I get plants in it right away or not. In fact, with some of the stuff I put in there, it might be just a touch hot right now. I kind of doubt it, but it sure won't hurt for it to sit here and grow and develop without any plants in it. Probably get a couple little things in it right away. I don't know when I get to pick up my loquat from Seamus. He hasn't told me yet, so I bug him every now and then, but he's just crazy busy right now. They just opened a new place. Congratulations to him. So here we are, the Sonoran Planter. The wood chips are going to hold the moisture in. That's why I spread it all over there. They're probably a good 6 to 8 inches over the path itself. That'll help keep weeds from growing in that particular area. And everywhere, the wood chips will help the weeds from coming up right now. And then when we want to plant something, we'll just pull the wood chips back, plant it in the topsoil, and then until it's just kind of keep a clear space right immediately around it until it can grow up, and then it can handle when the wood chips fall and, you know, get up close against it anyway. The loquat will go just this side of where that sprinkler is. You saw that earlier. And we're still debating on what we're going to put in here. We'll probably end up with at least one artichoke in here and some ground cover just to get things started, and it'll mature over the next couple of years. I would expect that in a couple of years we'll really have this close to the way we want it, and hopefully have it layered nicely and really have something to show people what can be done. Yeah, it was a lot of work, and some people might say, well, Joe, you know, you just went too far, you did too much. And in a sense that might be true. My goal in this one in particular was to try to mimic what Mother Nature does by bringing the stuff in, give it a fast forward. I could have accomplished the same thing over a couple of years by not digging down as deep, by putting in certain plants that would that have deep tap roots, and, you know, cutting them off and leaving those capillaries to continue growing and building up the organic material in the soil. But I'm giving this a big jump forward. This whole thing, except right where the tree will go, because remember I put a lot of soil there. I didn't put organic matter under the tree because I didn't want it to settle. But the whole thing, other than that area, will probably settle a good 4 inches just in the next couple months. And I'll have to bring in more wood chips and pile on there, and it'll just keep building nutrients. This thing should last forever. I should never really have to amend it much after this. If I plant right and have the right things there and chop and drop, this thing should pretty much last forever. It has plenty of nutrients in it now, a lot of life in it. As long as nothing crazy happens, I don't pick up some weird disease. And that's part of the reason you get the varied, the strong microbiology going in there. You want all those little critters and the different fungi and helpful bacteria and all that stuff in there, because that helps to keep the bad things away, the bad diseases, the mold, some of the bad molds. And what is that one that's so nasty that you get around here once in a while, that Texas mold, or it's Texas rot or something like that, and it'll just devastate your plants. We have a friend who lost all their trees on their property to that just about a year ago. So this type of soil will help to keep that from happening. Those types of diseases should be eradicated by the biology of the soil itself. So I'm going to leave this sprinkler going. I don't know how long. I'm going to let it soak in really good though. You'll never see standing water on this thing. I can't imagine it'll ever happen again. It just has too much organic matter, and it's a big sponge. I took some of that topsoil, or the compost that I got, and I put a little bit over here. You can see it kind of messed up my plants a little. And I'm going to put some more wood chips in there. They'll come back. They'll be okay. I'll lose some beans because of what I did over there, and I would imagine wifey's not going to be happy when she sees that I did that. But I have enough wood chips here to go ahead and build that up, and then add some to the planter and back as well. Thanks, Jay, for the compost. Great stuff. I look forward to seeing this thing really go, and getting my tree from Seamus. And we'll show you when we plant this tree. I have a couple trees that I'm going to plant, and then I'll show you that as well. 2 mulberries. One is a Pakistani, and the other is a local one. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know what kind it is, but a friend has some volunteers that are growing around hers, and she said to go ahead and take one, so I'm going to take one. If it's a male, I'll just do some grafts, and if it's a female, then I'll get some fruit, and I might do grafts anyway. We'll see how they go. Thanks for tuning in. This is Joe Johnson, and we'll catch you next time.